show and also that severe weather threat in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. New at 5, more details are coming out about why the FBI raided a branch of the House of Prayer Church in Augusta last summer. A new complaint filed in Georgia federal court alleges that the Bible schools within the House of Prayer churches defrauded the VA in a scheme involving about $22 million. This document also draws a clear connection between the churches and their location in military towns, stating that the House of Prayer would target military service members and veterans and deprive them of their benefits. Those benefits came from the post 9/11 GI bills meant to help pay for service members' college education. The investigation also seized more than $150,000 from accounts at South Georgia and First Citizens Bank and Trust. Those accounts belong to the House of Prayer organization. And 36-year-old Hassan Hopegood is wanted by Richmond County deputies. They say he may be connected to a stabbing that happened on December 30th at the intersection of Deansbridge Road and Milledgeville Road. Reports say that the victim was walking in the crosswalk when he passed Hopegood. They say Hopegood started stabbing the victim with a 6-inch pocket knife for unknown reasons. The victim suffered stab wounds to the head, stomach, and side. If you have any information in this case, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
New at 5, a local man is among dozens busted in a massive drug and gang investigation. Just hours ago, state and federal agencies announced the results of Operation Ghost Busted, with 76 accused criminals indicted on federal charges, including 30-year-old Jesse Trujillo from Swainsboro. Investigators say several gangs and white supremacist groups created a sprawling drug trafficking network. We're talking large amounts of things like meth, fentanyl, and heroin. At least 3 people died from overdoses. This indictment is believed to be the largest ever in the Southern District of Georgia. Investigators seized 43 guns, 1 car, and more than $53,000 in cash.
In other news, you get to see it for yourself. The National Championship Trophy will be on display in Athens starting today. It'll be on display at the Kroger on Alf's Road in Athens if you want to make the drive all the way there. And later this week, the Bulldogs are celebrating their national championship win. It's Saturday at Sanford Stadium. It starts at 12:30 with a parade along Lumpkin Street in Athens. A dog walk will follow that at 1 p.m. and a formal program starts at 2.
We're getting a first look at plans for the rest of the legislative session in Georgia. A day we have our eye on for you is Crossover Day. That's set for Monday, March the 6th. That is the deadline a bill must pass out of its legislative chamber, so either the state Senate or the state House, to be considered by the other chamber. Things are set to wrap up Wednesday, March the 29th. The best is yet to come. That is the message Governor Henry McMaster had for South Carolinians today as he was sworn in for his second full term in Columbia.
State House reporter Mary Green was there for McMaster's inauguration and joins us live. And Mary, today is the start of a potentially historic term for South Carolina.
Yes, Will, Meredith, Governor Henry McMaster can become the longest-serving governor in state history by completing this new 4-year term that started today here on State House grounds. That's after he finished out former Governor Nikki Haley's term when she joined the Trump administration. And, of course, since then, McMaster has been elected to 2 full terms of his own.
So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you.
After being sworn in by State Supreme Court Justice John Kittredge, Governor McMaster delivered a nearly 20-minute address. His thesis was one he's been reiterating recently in other remarks, saying South Carolina's future prosperity relies on 3 pillars: its economic strength, education, and natural environment. McMaster laid out goals he's calling for the state to accomplish in his next 4 years, including raising teachers' starting salaries to $50,000, preserving South Carolina's environment and historic sites, and strengthening laws regarding illegal guns and bail policies. The governor's inauguration comes less than a week after the state Supreme Court struck down South Carolina's 6-week ban on abortion. Here's the line that got McMaster his biggest standing ovation during his address.
We must also ensure that the public has confidence in whom and how we elect all of our judges, how we select our judges, by making the processes more transparent and accountable so that every South Carolinian born and unborn may enjoy life, liberty, and happiness.
And 5 former South Carolina governors were among those who were in attendance today, including former Governor Nikki Haley, who received the largest applause of that group. Reporting live from the South Carolina State House, Mary Green, on your side.
All right, thanks for that, Mary. After tonight, the governor will attend the inaugural ball in Columbia to cap off the day's events.
And McMaster isn't the only one getting sworn in for another term. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp will take the oath of office again tomorrow.
Family members of former attorney Alec Murdaugh could be dropped from a wrongful death lawsuit. Now, this one is related to the lawsuit filed by the family of Mallory Beach, a 19-year-old killed in a boat crash in 2019. At the time, investigators said Alec Murdaugh's youngest son, Paul, was driving the boat. Paul was charged in the case before he and his mother, Maggie Murdaugh, were killed in 2021. Attorneys representing the Beach family say an agreement has been reached. If approved, it would mean surviving son Buster Murdaugh and the estate of Maggie would be dropped from the suit. Attorneys say no matter what, Maggie's estate will have to pay around $290,000 in legal fees.
A Georgia legend has passed away at the age of 90. Georgia Public Broadcasting is reporting that singer-songwriter Dick Flood, famously known as Okefenokee Joe, passed away here in Augusta at the VA hospital. He was living in Sally, South Carolina. He hosted the Emmy Award-winning GPB TV documentary Swampwise. Flood also wrote numerous songs for popular country musicians in the 1950s and 60s.
Coming up next at 5, some scary stats for expecting mothers in Georgia. Georgia's maternal death rate is too high. Now, state groups are working to fix it. Riley?
And we do have a first alert in effect tomorrow. We are expecting a chance for severe storms by tomorrow afternoon. Update on the full forecast just after break.
We're taking a look at the potential benefits of a multi-million-dollar solar farm that could be right here in McDuffie County. All through on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'll have more on what this could mean for economic benefits in the area.
Time. Window World. Simply the best for less.
Remember, get 3 estimates, but make sure one is from Window World.
It's a brand new year. Time to start with Milton Rubin Toyota. Oh, yeah. Fresh inventory is arriving daily. Lease a new 2023 Tacoma SR5 for $299 a month. Milton Rubin Toyota.
Quickly.
New information about the big storm that rolled through last week. The National Weather Service says a microburst hit the town of Blackville in Barnwell. It had winds of up to 90 miles an hour, but that's not all. Experts say its path of destruction was a little more than a mile long and 50 yards wide. So this thing, I mean, it did the damage that a tornado could do.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that damage pretty spread out when that storm system moved through. Riley, what exactly is a microburst, though?
Yeah, so you remember last week we were talking about the downburst in Burke County. A microburst is a form of downburst just on a much smaller scale. So a microburst is just a big, strong wind gust underneath a thunderstorm that can get up to around 150 miles an hour. This particular one in Blackville was up to around 90. So kind of similar winds to what we did see in Burke County, just on a much smaller scale. So less than 2 miles with that damage that we did see with the microburst. Now, heading into tomorrow, we do have a first alert for 36 hours. We will see this rain clear out by around midnight tomorrow, and then we're looking dry Friday all the way through the weekend, but much colder temps behind the storms.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Georgia has one of the highest maternal death rates out of any state in the entire country. Roughly 27 out of every 100,000. That's 10% above the national average. But there is some good news tonight. As Abby Kasoris reports, some state groups are giving moms life-saving information to better the outcome.
An F score. That's what the March of Dimes gives the state for its efforts to help pregnant women during childbirth, facing complications that can take their lives and the lives of their children. When hospitals close and doctors reach retirement in our state, maternal care deserts grow.
In those areas where you don't have the doulas and the midwives.
Hartford, Georgia is working to help Georgia women like Contrilla Ard, who are left searching for quality care.
As
terrified to give birth, which is something that is really so natural and beautiful.
She didn't want to become part of a sobering statistic. The Georgia Department of Health reports more than 20 women out of 100,000 have complications during childbirth. The number of black women is more than 3 times higher.
Sometimes we don't speak up because we don't know how.
She gave birth to a healthy baby boy and felt more confident knowing her rights and what questions she could ask doctors after taking a course in Clayton County with John Brinson.
Created a program designed to help ask the right questions. And for me, it's personal. I lost a grandson who was born prematurely.
Preterm births, or births that occur before 37 weeks, are rising in the state.
Could I have asked this question? Could we have identified something that would have prevented the outcome that we had?
The course guides mothers through the what ifs. They are expanding to other parts of the state where women are forced to travel hours to receive obstetric care. The course is free, it lasts 8 weeks, and anyone can go and learn how to be an advocate for an expectant mother. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Casoris.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
Don't ignore the sign.
Care brand.
Foundation settlement can be serious. Cracks that start here can soon appear here. And here. A healthy foundation is a healthy home. Rely on the experts. Rely on Ramjack Foundation Repair.
An estimated 14 million people are exposed to employment scams every year. That's according to the Better Business Bureau.
Consumer investigator Carice Jackman explains why scammer strategies, how you can protect yourself while you're on the hunt for a new job.
Looking for a new job can be stressful and time-consuming, but when you add in the fact that scammers are scanning the same sites as you and looking for new targets, experts say job seekers are at risk of becoming fraud victims.
Folks are really, thinking about their employment status in ways that they never have before, and because of that, there are opportunities to, have the blinders on to a fault.
So far in 2022, the Federal Trade Commission has reported more than $250 million in losses tied to business and job opportunity scams, with a typical victim losing around $2,000. Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau says job scams increased during the pandemic.
Employment scams and phishing are north of 10% of the scam reports that we have tracked. These are really concerning trends because these are particularly devastating scam types.
The BBB released this detailed scam study in 2020, showing how con artists oftentimes post on legitimate sites and pose as employers using multiple methods to trick applicants. In the report, victims claim that fake employers set up virtual interviews via video conference, but never showed the victims their face during those bogus interviews. The applicants said they got a series of personal questions and ended up divulging critical personal information, some even turning over bank account numbers to supposedly set up direct deposit at their new jobs.
We asked several job search engine sites if they've noticed an uptick in scam reports and what they're doing to protect job seekers. 3 of them got back to us. Indeed told us they've removed tens of millions of job listings each month that do not meet their quality guidelines. ZipRecruiter told us they use proprietary detection software and they have a stringent client onboarding process to vet potential posers and deny access for those who fail to pass their screening process. While LinkedIn says they've rolled out new features to keep inauthentic activity off of their site.
Experts say beware of vague job descriptions. Always report any suspicious posts from someone claiming to be an employer. And remember, if you're paying for the promise of a job, it's most likely a scam.
If, you have some concerns just by reading the job posting, that should be a sign, right? And typically, your gut is going to lead you in the right path in terms of, getting your questions answered. So if you have a question, speak up.
With this watching your wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
Well, remember, tomorrow we are tracking a low tornado threat.
The accident was not my fault.
When you're injured, you need help fast. Call George Sink Injury Lawyers at all nights.
You need someone that's gonna fight for you. Call now.
Call George Sink Injury Lawyers at all nights.
Are you currently on medication?